actually a 3-part series of my P.Louise Sandwich palette series. So I've actually created 2 of the looks using this palette, and this is the 3rd and final look, and I have to say is actually my favourite. And also at the end of this video I'll be doing a review on the whole collection and the palette. So if you want to see how I got this look, the 3rd and final look, then please keep on watching. So I've already done the one eye off camera just to save some time, and we're going to go straight on into the P.Louise base, which is the Rumour 2. I also haven't stuck any lashes on just yet, just so I can get the symmetry in this look. Okay, so after laying out my base, I'm going to be taking the first stage of the palette, and I'm going to be taking this shade here, and it's called Delicious. It's like a really nice dark like navy blue, which is really nice. And then I'm just going to pat out my base again to prevent any creasing before laying the shadow down. So taking that shade Delicious, I'm just going to start by mapping out my cut crease. And I've gone for like quite a big cut crease just because I felt like it, and I think it looks really nice. So I'm just going to start mapping out this shade Delicious on the lid. And this is going to be our first stage, so our darkest colour. So after mapping out that first shade Delicious, I'm now going to go in with the shade Bite Me, which is this really nice like deep purple colour, and then I'm just going to carry on the cut crease because I'm doing half of the shade Delicious and half of the shade Bite Me. So we're just making this transition into this shade and just layering down this shade as well. And also with this I do bring it round into like almost a circle. So when laying this shade down, I am going to bring it around and then pull it back onto the outer corner of the eye, just to give a really nice transition into the outer V of the eye. Also, when layering your first shadow, I'd also recommend just to hold it quite close to the brush end, just because it gives you more like control over the brush than if you had it an angle like this. You're literally placing it anywhere, so I definitely recommend to hold it nearer to the end of the actual brush itself, just so you get more control of the actual product. Okay, so now I've just laid our first stages. So next we're going to go into this second palette, and in here you have your second stages of your blend. So I'm going to go in with this shade here, and this is called Yummy, and this shade has a lot of kickback, but I'm going to be taking that shade anyway, and I'm going to be applying it right above this first shade. And wow, did you see how much just fell out then? This is why I don't like a lot of kickback, because obviously it just gets on you. So I've just had to wipe away all that kickback. But anyway, I'm going to go in with that shade and just start blending it in. But yeah, I'm going to continue to blend this in. So this is our transition shade, and it's really nice. And I've just left the front area here just because we are going to be applying like a different shade into that inner corner. Next, in the same palette, I'm going to be taking this middle shade called Snack, and we're going to be applying this over that first shade we laid on the pink side. This is our story. It's written on the wall of what you did. So we're going to go into the third palette now, and this is basically all your transition shades. I'm going to be taking the shade Flavour for more of the bluey toned side. I'm going to be taking on a big fluffy blending brush. I always like to use a big fluffy blending brush for our last transition colour. So this is basically your last step before going in and re-intensifying and going back down all the stages. So to blend out the pink side, I actually couldn't use the purple shade in here because it just wouldn't work with the pink. So I've actually had to go into the Beauty Bay Experiment Mitchell, and I'm going to be taking this shade here called Milkshake, and it's just a really nice pink just to blur this out to. So I didn't really want to ruin it and use the purple, so I'm going to be taking that shade Milkshake, and I'm just going to be buffing out the edges with this pink because I just don't see why they put a purple in there. But yeah, I'm going to be using this pink instead. So after we've done our first blend, we're now going to go back down the stages. So I'm going to go back into that middle palette. I'm going to be taking the shade Yummy and Snack for both of the sides. And we're going to do the middle shade, and then we're going to go back down to the more intense shade, just so we're re-intensifying the stages that we've already laid down.
I still wish you the best for tomorrow, of what you felt.
So after building up those shadows and re-intensifying them and going back up and back down, now I'm going to go in with the P.Louise's The Room 2 base again, and I'm just going to carve out my crease before we apply the shimmer shadows, which is the last stage in the Sandwich palette.
Hold my head up high. Now I know I can't take it anymore.
So at this point, don't worry about any discoloration with the actual base on the lid. I'm going to go in with this pink shade called Snack, and I'm just going to buff out the edge of this cut crease just so we don't have any harsh lines or anything, and can easily blend it into our edge. Then I'm going to be taking that deep shade called Bite Me, and then also just place that on the edge as well, just so we're blending back into our deepest colour. So now for the most exciting part, we're going to be taking the last sandwich end, and we're going to be using these two shades here. They're called Nibble Me and Recipe, and I use both of them. So basically I'm going to be taking the shade Nibble Me on the one side of the brush for the inner of the lid, and then I'm going to move on to Recipe for the outer corner of the lid, and I'm just taking it on a Sosu flat brush. So I'm just going to start by packing this green shade onto the lid, and this green shade is so gorgeous. It honestly, so many vibes from this green shade. Then I'm going to be turning it over and using the shade Recipe, and you're basically just going over where you applied that cut crease, making sure it's really, really tight to the line as well. I would definitely recommend to do your eyes first if you are going to use this palette, just because I feel like the shades are just so intense that it has got that kickback there. So just be aware, if you are going to do your base beforehand, you're literally going to have, if you don't protect your face with powder, you're going to have a lot of fallout on your face, basically. And then I'm going to be taking the shade Delicious, and then we're going to be laying this right over where that blue meets the purple. So after that, we're coming together a little bit more now. I'm just going to be taking some more of that P.Louise base, and I'm going to be applying it underneath the lash line. So I'm going to be going in with that shade Bite Me, and I'm just going to start by running this underneath the lash line. Then following that, I'm going to be taking the shade Delicious. Then going back down the shades, I'm going to be taking the shade Snack and just running that underneath that shade and connecting it to the outer corner. And then in the same palette, taking Yummy. So I've just gone ahead and done my base off camera, and now we're going to be moving on to lashes. I'm going to be using the T.L. Mitchell 2 with Tatty Lashes, and this is a fresh set. So I'm just going to get these out and just apply glue to the lash band and let them dry. So I'm just using the Duo Lash Glue, the green one. I'm just going to be applying this just to the lash band. So while my lashes are drying, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. gel liner, and then I'm just going to be applying this into my top waterline. I've already done this on the other eye, so I'm just going to do it on this eye. I've also applied my mascara. This is the L'Oreal Baby Roll. I really, really like this mascara. The only other mascara that I really, really liked before this was the L'Oreal Telescopic. So apart from that, I basically pick up any Maybelline Big Shot Extreme mascara. So if you have any mascara recommendations, definitely drop them down below. So to finish off the eyes, I'm going to be using another palette. This is the H&B Dare to Be Different palette. It has a gorgeous frosted shade called Angel. It's just so lovely, and this palette is actually in my 1K subscribers giveaway collection that I built up, so that'll be really exciting when we can do that. I'm just applying this to the inner corner and just re-intensifying the other side as well. So now my lashes should be a little bit dry, so I'm just going to wiggle them back and two just so it's a little bit more flexible. That's the one thing about getting new eyelashes out the packet. I like it when it's moulded to the eye. But I'm just going to go ahead and stick these on. And then I'm just going to do the same with the other side, just twist it back in two, give it a little bit of shape in the lash before I stick it on. So now my lashes are on. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds just before I tweeze that side again. But now I'm just deciding what paint to use in my lash line. I don't know whether to use Razor and give it like a bright pink, or should I go in with Nitro. I'm thinking, should I do half and half, or should I just stick with the one colour? I don't know. So I'm going to go in with Nitro and just see how that goes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I like that. I was going to do half and half and I was like, no, that's a bit too much. I'm just doing the same to the other side. So I'm now just going to go back in and tweeze my lashes just because they have dried down a bit now and we can make them closer to the lash line. Also for highlight, I used the Pretty Little Glow highlight, and now I'm just going to move on to eyebrows. I'm going to be starting off by using the P.Louise pencil and espresso to fill in my brows. So that's my brows on, and I've learnt with this pencil you have to be quite light because it is so pigmented. So I'm going to go in with the brow gel now just to set them and make them look more fluffy. So for my lip combo, I actually used the two shades from H&B Cosmetics, the shades Obsessed and Living, my absolute favourite, and I absolutely love their liquid lipsticks. They're absolutely amazing. I absolutely love their glosses as well. So I'm going to go in with the H&B Cosmetics Feeling Myself lip gloss just to finish this look. And then finally, to set my face, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Hydrate and Fix Radiance Setting Spray. I love this one recently. And I'm obsessed with this look. Like, oh my god, the Sandwich palettes did this. Like, oh my god. So guys, this is the finished look, and I actually feel like it's an end of an era because this is look 3. But I definitely think there's so many looks you can do with this palette, and in review, I definitely say if you are going to get this palette for anything, it definitely have to be the amazing shimmer shades. They are just to die for. I think the only setback with this palette is definitely the kickback and the sort of powderiness of the pastel colours, which is very annoying, but I think it's just the consistency and how pigmented they actually are. I think the only ones that don't have as much kickback are definitely the starter shades in your Sandwich, and these don't have as much kickback as the other ones, but there is a lot of kickback in this palette. However, it is just so incredibly pigmented, and the amount of looks they can do with this palette, and I'm just feeling this look. This look has got to be my favourite one I've done out of the 3. So yeah, this is going to be the last look using the P.Louise Sandwich palette, and I feel really disheartened, but I do have a lot more stuff to come on my channel with regarding more series that I'm so excited to do. So yeah, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are going to recreate any of these 3 looks I did in this series, please tag me on my social at fionajanecoles on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this look and this tutorial. Please also make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, as it really helps out my channel. And hopefully I'll see you in my next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and yeah, bye everyone.